This is a Scape News editorial analysis. What follows is our opinion, based on documents we have reviewed and questions we are still asking. We encourage viewers to read the full cease-and-desist letter themselves and form their own conclusions. What allegedly happened, our understanding of the timeline, in our opinion, December 2025. A series of Wolves in Finance episodes raise questions about turning points, branded entities, TPUSA, TP, TPA, TPPAC, and ADP. These episodes allegedly examined missing or late 990 filings, money flows between entities, the role of 110 LLC, employee counts and salary lines, drone usage at a Utah Valley University event, the classification of a COO as an independent contractor, January 8, 2026. A law firm, South Bank Legal, sent a 4-page cease-and-desist letter to Zach DeGregorio, Wolves in Finance, claiming numerous defamatory statements and demanding he stop. The letter claims that these statements are demonstrably false, have caused tremendous damage, and have allegedly led to threats of violence against individuals connected to the Turning Point entities. We are not asserting that any crime or fraud occurred. We are describing what the letter itself claims and what the videos allegedly discussed. How the letter frames defamation. In our opinion, the letter does a few key things, defines defamation using Arizona case law, and emphasizes reputational harm, labels multiple statements as false, without attaching underlying documentation, treats questions as if they were factual assertions, asserts actionable and meritorious claims while also saying they are not looking for litigation, demands evidence preservation across phones, tablets, email, chats, and cloud storage, language that looks like pre-litigation positioning. From a media analysis standpoint, this reads less like a neutral clarification and more like an attempt to control the narrative around financial and governance questions. The specific disputes, as we understand them, the DOJ-style audit and 990 filings. The letter says, TPUSA never planned a DOJ-style audit. The word audit was allegedly never used in the COO announcement. All TP entities allegedly filed their FY24 990s on time. A $650,000 transfer that was questioned as possible campaign finance evasion is described as a reimbursement for event expenses. Our questions in opinion form. If an audience reasonably heard, we're going to get to the bottom of this, or similar language, is it unreasonable for a commentator to describe that as an audit in shorthand? If the $650,000 is truly a reimbursement, where is the public line item documentation that clearly shows the original expense, the reimbursement, the dates and authorizations? We are not saying the reimbursement story is false. We are saying that, in our opinion, the letter asks us to accept that explanation on trust, while simultaneously attacking those who ask questions about it. More fraud and ghost employees. The letter states, there was no fraud at Turning Point USA, much less more fraud. ADP allegedly had 80 employees in FY23 and 108 in FY24. An inadvertent error in a filing allegedly failed to note these employees. Therefore, calling them ghost employees is labeled as false. Our opinion and questions. When a filing shows large salary lines with 0 to 24 employees, and later we are told there were actually 80 to 108 employees, is it unreasonable for a forensic accountant or journalist to ask whether those are ghost employees? If the error is inadvertent, why did it allegedly take public scrutiny to surface and rectify it? We are not asserting that ADP literally has ghost employees. We are saying that the discrepancy itself is a legitimate subject of public concern and questioning. 110 LLC, bribes, and contractor status. The letter claims TPUSA contracts with 110 LLC for legitimate services like marketing and advertising. Any suggestion that payments to 110 LLC are bribes is called false. The COO is listed as an independent contractor because his substantive role allegedly fits that classification. Claims that TP entities are shell companies are called patently false, pointing to 990 descriptions. Our opinion framing. When a political insider's LLC receives significant funds from related entities, it is normal and healthy in a democracy to ask, is this a fair market value contract? Could this structure be used, even hypothetically, to route influence or compensation in ways that avoid scrutiny? Asking was this a bribe is a question, not a factual assertion. In our view, the letter blurs that line. On contractor status, misclassification of workers is a well-known issue in many sectors. Saying, we think this looks like misclassification is, in our opinion, a policy and governance critique, not a statement of hidden fact. Drones, events, and discrepancies. The letter says, Utah Valley University allegedly prohibited TPUSA from flying drones during the event for security reasons. A TPUSA media drone was allegedly allowed to fly briefly before the event for limited B-roll. Therefore, any talk of discrepancies is labeled defamatory. Our opinion, this is one of the cleaner factual clarifications in the letter. If true, it narrows the dispute to how clearly that context was communicated in the original coverage. Even here, the gap between what was allowed and what was perceived is a legitimate subject of reporting. The most concerning part, speech control by prior permission. On page 4, the letter says, paraphrased, please contact us before you publish anything more about TP entities or their finances. If you publish further unsupported assertions without giving us the opportunity to provide the truth in advance, you'll be acting recklessly and maliciously. Our opinion, this reads like an attempt to impose a de facto prior restraint filter on independent commentary. It suggests that failing to clear future coverage with the subject of the investigation could be used later as evidence of malice. That framing, in our view, is deeply chilling to investigative work and public interest journalism. We are not saying a law firm cannot offer corrections or context. We are saying that conditioning safe speech on prior approval from the subject of scrutiny is, in our opinion, incompatible with robust public debate, evidence preservation, and lawfare optics. The letter ends with a sweeping preservation demand. Preserve all potentially relevant evidence. Includes phones, tablets, emails, chats, WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram, iMessage, etc., shared drives, and more. Our opinion, this is standard language when litigation is seriously contemplated. Combined with we're not looking for litigation, it creates a dual message. We're reasonable and just want the truth. We are also prepared to drag your entire digital life into discovery. To us, that looks and feels like lawfare pressure, using the specter of expensive, invasive litigation to discourage continued questioning. What this means for viewers and independent media. In our opinion, this case is not just about one YouTube channel and one organization. It raises bigger questions. Can asking hard questions about money flows, governance, and filings be reframed as defamation to shut people up? Will powerful entities increasingly use pre-litigation letters to chill speech rather than to correct a record? How should independent creators document their work so that good faith questions are clearly distinguishable from factual claims? Scape News believes, using words like allegedly, in our opinion, we have questions we are still investigating, is not just legal hygiene. It's honest about the limits of what we know. Publishing source documents, timelines, and receipts allows the audience to audit us, not just take our word for it. The answer to speech we dislike is more speech, more transparency, more documentation, not threats. Our closing position. This report is our opinion, based on a cease-and-desist letter dated January 8th, 2026, and public commentary about it. Not legal advice, and not a claim that any party has committed a crime or civil violation. An attempt to map the pressure points where legal language and public interest journalism collide. If you're watching this on Scape News, we invite you to read the letter yourself, watch the original episodes, decide whether you think the response is about truth or about control. Welcome to the inner circle. This isn't just a membership, it's a mission. You're supporting forensic truth, mythic blends, and ceremonial broadcasts that honor every moment. Members unlock exclusive enhancements, behind-the-scenes alerts, and direct access to the pulse of Scape News and leading sponsor, Gold Rush Fever Specialty Coffee. Join us and help shape the signal. We thank you, and as always, stay safe. That's the latest from Scape News. We're live, we're watching, we thank you. Subscribe, like, share, and ring the bell so you don't miss what breaks next. Stay with us, we appreciate you, and as always, be safe.